Hello, my lovelies. Tonight we're talking about you cannot control your thoughts, and you can. Okay, so this has been coming up for me. I was listening to an audiobook by one of my teachers, really big guru. I'm not going to say who it is. Really big as in, oh, actually in size, and massive audience. So I'm reading this book on mindset, and at the end of the book, he gives an exercise on how to control your emotions, how to change your state. What you can do, that's, I want to qualify that statement. You can do if, it's a big if. And, you know, the concept of that, oh, the lighting's not very good in here. Forgive me. Anyway, that's how it's going to be tonight. So the concept is that if you're in a negative state of emotions, you don't want to be there and you want to change your state and get into a positive state of emotions. And I disagree with that 100%. Okay. And then I was inspired to make this video. Then a couple days later, I saw one of my friends posted a meme and a post about a similar thing about how to change your state and shift your state into about how you choose your state, you choose your emotions, and here are the emotions. There's a list of positive emotions that you wanted to have, right? And versus, compared to the negative emotions that you wanted to have. And I was like, okay, this post can't wait anymore. I need to make this video. Okay. So like in the personal development world, this concept of you can control your emotions, you choose your emotions, you get to choose your state, and how did you create that? Although that's another story, right? So like, why are you choosing to feel this way? I'm all for empowerment. I'm all for being at cause. I'm all for being the creator of your reality. That's the number one principle in my primordial power programs. And you cannot and should not, right? Not like that word should, but it's appropriate in this instance, should not be trying to control your emotions. Okay. Our emotions are everything. They are a gift, and they are our inner compass to let us know whether or not we're on the right track, whether it be in any area of our lives. And although I can appreciate what you can do is you can choose your response, right? You can choose a response to a situation. But let me back up. Before I go there, I want to say that if you're in a situation, that situation is going to evoke emotions from us. And that is a natural response based on our history, our conditioning, and our past. Good, bad, ugly, or beautiful. Okay. So, and I've been to those seminars. Actually, the first seminar I ever went to, personal development seminar that I ever went to, we actually did an exercise on choosing your state, changing your state, controlling your state. Excuse me. Now I know better, right? So I'm going to get to changing your state. Okay. So, but first, if you're in a negative situation, right? If you're in an argument with a loved one, or your lover leaves you, you lose a job, you lose a business, you lose a relationship, you're just in a negative situation, that is going to evoke emotions in you. And it's likely going to evoke negative emotions in you. I'm realizing everything I mentioned, all the examples I used were loss. And we're just going to go with that for now, right? So like if you suffer a loss, you're going to have negative emotions. If you're amidst conflict, you're likely going to have negative emotions. That situation, that person, or that thing is going to evoke negative emotions in you. And that's okay, right? Like that's okay. What you want is to have an appropriate amount of negative emotions, right? Because You don't want to be blowing up at people. You don't want to be bursting into tears at the drop of a hat or a sideways glance. You want to have appropriate emotions, right? And when you have emotional baggage, you have inappropriate responses, right? You have bursts of anger or frustration. Maybe you yell and scream and burst into tears at the drop of a hat. And trying to control your emotions or resist your emotions is like the number one way to create emotional baggage, right? By pushing your emotions down, and then they just all come up at inappropriate times and situations, right? So also when you're resisting, trying to push down your emotions, what you resist persists, right? So if you're angry with someone and you don't address the situation, if you're in conflict with someone and you don't address that situation, that's going to turn into resentment, which I talked about a couple of videos ago. Go listen to that. Resentment. Yeah, resentment's bad. So, and if you suffer a loss, right? For example, if you lose a loved one, either to a passing away or a relationship ends, and right, that's sad, right? That's sad. You're having a void, and it likely the situation, the loss, or you lost a job, even the loss likely requires a grieving period. And if you don't allow yourself that, grant yourself that, it could result in, it could turn into a long period of sadness and or depression. So here's the thing, right? This is where we can choose our state. When we have a healthy relationship with our own emotions, which is we feel them, we face them, and as a result, we free them. And in my work, I help my clients and my students navigate that process, right? By facing them, feeling them, and free. And as a result, you're free of them, and healing all the pent up negative emotional baggage that most of us create in our lifetime. And even, I create emotional baggage now, not as much as I used to, because, sometimes I still fall into old patterns, as we all do. And we don't allow our emotions to surface in, in the moment. So, but our emotions are a gift, right? Like they're a blessing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we want to give them their due. Okay. And so I was on choosing the response, right? Okay. So when you have when you have a healthy response, relationship with your emotions, that is, you feel them freely and easily, and you process them appropriately, right? And that's anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. Those are the primary negative emotions. Then you feel them, and you feel them as is appropriate. And then you can choose, right? You can choose this is when you can control your state. When you can process them, and then you can choose, okay, I've had enough of that. I've learned from that lesson. I've learned from that situation that caused the emotions or evoked the emotions. I've learned the lesson. I've addressed the situation. Now I can move on, right? Because we're conditioned to ruminate, keep thinking about it. And this often happens when we don't address the situation. We ignore the situation. We sweep the situation under the rug, and then those emotions build up. But when we face them, right, when we feel them and we face them, then we have the ability to move past them and make room for our healthy emotions. Does that make sense? I hope so. So, I had a client ask me last week, I love this question so much. And she asked me, how can I have better responses to the situations in my life, right? And situations with family for her mostly. And, it's meditation and release work. Meditation and release work, right? Meditation is going to expand our awareness, and meditation is a form of release work as well, right? So it's going to expand our awareness. It's going to allow us to process and release negative emotions in a slow, time, right? It takes time to do that. And there's grace and miracles can happen. Some things can happen just like that. And then there's release work, my badass method of my primordial timeline process, which puts meditation on steroids. It's magical. So message me if you want right away. Okay, something just happened to the video. Hopefully it's still okay. Um, and this isn't a new video. Interesting. Okay, hopefully it didn't interrupt on your end. Anyway, meditation and release work, right? So particularly, I teach, practice, and promote, strongly encourage a silent mantra-based meditation. I'm going to put my meditation starter kit, free meditation starter kit in the comments somewhere in this post, depending on where you're watching it, so you can start your practice, amp up your practice right away. And I think that's it. If you're ready, like if you've got a meditation practice, or even if not, and you're ready for the release work, you're ready to get a handle on your emotional state, and you want to start feeling your emotions in a healthy way and processing your emotions in a healthy way, private message me wherever you are, and we can talk about what that would look like. Okay. So, all right, my lovelies, I think that's it. Let me look at my note. I think that's it. Oh, I want to have a note about ascension energies. That's going to have to be a post for another day because I think this has been long enough. And I hope this serves you. I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, I'll see you in the gap. I love you. Mwah.